on this very special occasion of the inauguration of the 11th Waitaki District Council. We have a very lovely evening for you this evening that will involve some elements of culture from various parts of the district. And first off, I would like to acknowledge Mrs. Kerry Kircher, Upoko Runaka Omoaraki David Higgins, Kaihotu Omoaraki Marianne Jipa, and the Reverend Rose Luxford, who are dignitaries with us to help us celebrate this special night tonight. So thank you to all of you. And congratulations to the successful candidates for the 11th Wairoa District Council, Gary Kircher as Mayor, Melanie Tavendale, Colin Wilstein, Jeremy Holding, Kelly Milmine, Jim Hopkins, Hannah Halalele, and Peter Newton, Bill Kingan, and Guy Percival. Unfortunately, Ross McRoby is not with us this evening, having a conflicting event, but he will be sworn in on the 30th of October council meeting. So, to commence proceedings, I would like to declare the 11th Waitaki District Council inaugural meeting open and start the proceedings. So, if I could please call on David to undertake this meeting. Thank you, David.
Turuki paneke paneke, turuki paneke paneke. Haramai te toke, hoye, taeki. E noi tata, ka mihi ke a papatua no ku mea atu nui. Mana ke a koutou mea koutou whānau hoki. E tautoko te kaupapa o te rā nei. Awhi mai, awhi atu whakamau te atina. Hoie, tai. E kā reo, e kā mana, e kā raka tērā, tēnā koutou nau mai, piki mai, kaki mai. Are mai ki raka tēnei te whare a tāhua. E whare mātua o te taone o mām o tukutu. Me o amaru. Kia ranga tērā, ka mema o te poare, o te kaunihera, arohi, o Waitaki. Nau mai e piki mai, kaki mai e haere mai. Ke roka tēnei te takiwā o Moeraki, te takiwā o Ahitapu o Tamāti. E te whānau tautoko he whānau aroha. Tēnā koutou, ka hui mai tāta katoa. E oku whanauke, o te tai, o te mona nui ākiwa, o te motu, o Hāmoa, no mai, pare mai, tauti. Tēnā koutou, ka mihi aroha ki a koutou, e oko whanu. Ki ka takata o tēnei rohe, o tērā tai o tēnei tai o te motu, o tērā tai o tēnei tai o te takiwā o Moeraki, nau mai haere. Kia kouta katoa, te awa tapu o Waitaki huri ki te tai o ara i te uru. Huri ki te awa o Waihimo, ki ka takata o te whānau o Mahia Tōtō, huri ki te mauka o ka tiritiri o te moana, huri no ki te mohoka auraki, huri ki te taone o māku o tututu. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, ka hui mai tātou toa. E wahine uraka tērā e Kerry, roa ko Kai Karakia, Rose, kia kōrua, tēnā kōrua. E oku Kai Karaka, e Marianne, tēnā koe. Nō reira, huri noa ki te pari, huri noa ki te whānau. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tāku i mai tātou.
Now, could I please ask everybody to be upstanding for the national anthem? And could the choir please move forwards to centre stage and lead everyone in the singing of the national anthem? Thank you very much. To invite the Pacific Island Community Group Incorporated to move forwards into centre stage and perform your Pacifica cultural dance, please.
Manuelele, kia ora, ko matapo, taloha ni, talofa, ni hao, pula, whakalopalai atu, kia ora, talofa lava, and warm greetings to you all. My name is Senatima Naupo. I'm actually the younger sister of Hana Halelele. I live on the other side of the world, and it really is a blessing to be here to witness the inauguration of the Waitaki District's first Pacifica Council. As a token of our appreciation and to bless this pathway, we would like to present a gift to our Waitaki District Council. Our traditional offering of a fine mat, iadonga and tapa cloth, siapu. The tapa cloth is fundamental to our culture, and it constitutes the most valuable property in the Tongan culture. And the fine mat is a symbolism of Samoan society and its communal identity based upon ainga and the extended family and village. And each of the characters are woven together as one. Because you see, in our Pacifica community and in our Pacifica culture, I does not exist. I is part of we, and we as the Pacifica community are really humbled to be part of a new collaborative governance that is encouraging this inclusivity and diversity in the community of Waitaki. So as Hana enters the council with the blessing, Hana enters the council with the blessing and the honour and strength and responsibility of being accountable to serve the community, and we just hope that you may accept this gift from Hana and our Pacifica family.
Hey, Virtue, declare that I will faithfully and impartially and according to the best of my skill and judgment execute and perform in the best interests of the Waitaki District the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as Mayor of the Waitaki District Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act.
Well, congratulations, Mayor Kircher. Now, the remainder of the council will be sworn in. And to commence with that process, could I please ask Hamahalele to take the stage and be sworn in?
I, Hana Milania Halalele, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform in the best interests of the Waitaki District the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Waitaki District Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act.
Could I please ask Jeremy Holding to now take the stage?
I, Jeremy Holding, declare that I will faithfully and impartially and according to the best of my skill and judgment execute and perform in the best interests of the Waitaki District the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed on me as a member of the Waitaki District Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information Act and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act.
Could I please now ask Jim Hopkins to take the stage?
Thanks, I, James Arthur Hopkins, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform in the best interests of the Waitaki District powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Waitaki District Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act.
All right, could I now please call Bill Kingham to take the stage?
I, William James Kingham, declare that I will faithfully and impartially and according to the best of my skill and judgment execute and perform in the best interests of the Waitaki District the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Waitaki District Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act.
Could I now ask Kelly Milmine to take the stage?
I, Kelly Marie Milmine, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform in the best interests of the Waitaki District the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Waitaki District Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act.
Could I now ask Peter Newton to take the stage?
I, Peter Murray Newton, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform in the best interests of the Waitaki District the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Waitaki District Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act.
Could I please ask Guy Percival to take the stage?
I, Guy Richard Percival, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, exercise and perform in the best interests of the Waitaki District the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Waitaki District Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act.
Now could I please ask Melanie Tavendale to take the stage?
I, Melanie Jean Tavendale, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to my best skill and judgment, execute and perform in the best interests of the Waitaki District the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Waitaki District Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act.
And now could I ask Colin Walstein to take the stage?
I, Colin William Walstein, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform, in the best interests of the Waitaki District, the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Waitaki District Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act.
Well, that concludes the swearing in of councillors, and at this point I'd like to invite the Reverend Rose Luxford, the minister from St Paul's Mahino Utapopo Presbyterian Church, to come forward to the lectern to give her Saman Lotu or prayer, and I would also like to invite the Mayor and all councillors to come forward to the centre stage during that prayer, please, as well. Thank you.
Let us pray. Really, our joy. Gracious God, how good it is to be here this evening for such a special occasion. How grateful we are that we have people in our community who have the skills, talents and abilities to serve our Waitaki district through this council. We give thanks for their willingness to serve and for their commitment to this area of North Otago, a district which is rich and diverse in its cultures and in its rural and town mix. We pray that these people will carry out their duties with wisdom, discernment, common sense, vision, integrity and good humour. May they have the strength of their convictions, as well as the ability to listen to others' points of view. May they look at the big picture for the well-being and future of our district, as well as pay attention to the little details that can make all the difference. May they be able to think outside the square as well as attend to what is inside the square. May decision-making and actions always take into account the consequences they will have on all the people in the area. And God, when the going gets tough for them, may they have strength and perseverance. May they know the support of family and friends. And may we as a community value them and encourage them, talk with them, constructively share any concerns and complaints with them, as together we all seek to have a community that is a good place in which to live and work and play, a place which is vibrant as well as safe, offering opportunities to all. Remind us that we are all in this together and that we all have our part to play. God bless our mayor and our councillors, our towns and our communities. I bring this prayer in the name of Jesus, who came not to be served, but to serve. Whakatai Elea Tua. Amen.
Thank you very much for that, Rose. Now, may I present to you the people of Waitaki, the 11th Waitaki District Council. And we'll be joining and now at this stage I would like to invite Upoko Runaka Whamoraki David Higgins to give a karakia. Following that, there will be an adjournment. So David.
Kia ora tātou Reinhold. Ka mima, kaunihira arohe o Waitaki. Kia kaha koutou. Kia kaha koutou. Ka mini, kia koutou, me tōna wā. No reira, we finished with just a closing prayer and thank Rose for her dedication. Kia tau, kia tata katoa, kia te whai o tātou ariki o i Creighton. Me te aroha o te atua, me te whiwhi ka tahi taka ki te wairu taku, ake, amen. And it is our business, I guess, to bless the kai that is going to be delivered shortly. And we'll just do that while everyone's sort of standing on stage. Te te ariki whakapai kei e nei kai, he roko mamātou tina, te mātua te tama, te wairu taku, ake, amen. Kia ora koutou.
Thank you, David. So I'm now going to adjourn the meeting for a 15-minute interlude. And during that interlude, the stage will be reset for the inaugural council meeting agenda. So thank you, everybody. Please join me again in congratulating our new elected members.
By the way, everybody, the drinks are on me.
ask everybody, if I can please have your attention. The inaugural meeting of the Waitaki District Council will now take place, and I'd like to call forward our newly elected members to take their positions at the council table, and we will have the first meeting of this new triennium. So please come forward.
Well, this is slightly different doing this in front of a big audience. But welcome everybody, and it's my pleasure to reconvene this meeting that we started before with the swearing in ceremony. So we have one apology, which is Councillor-elect Ross Brody. So I'll move and accept that apology. Councillor Tavendale and Councillor Hopkins, thank you. All those in favour that be accepted, please say aye. And against? It's carried. We now have a explanation of legislation, which is a requirement under the Local Government Act, the newly sworn in council. So I'll ask the Chief Executive to lead us through that. Anyone that falls asleep, we will wake you up again afterwards. I think we're going to try and be reasonably brief.
Indeed. So there is a requirement in the legislation for certain elements of legislation to be brought to the attention of newly elected members at the commencement of each triennium. Those pieces of legislation are rather dry, so we've saved the audience an immense amount of pain by having that material presented in written form. However, there are one or two areas that it is worthwhile focusing on. Members have all read all of this already in advance of the meeting, but there are two elements in particular that I'd like to draw members' attention to. Firstly, under the Local Authority Members' Interests Act 1968, that Act provides that no person can be an elected member if the total of all contract payments made or to be made by the council in which that person is concerned or interested exceeds $25,000 in any financial year. Now, this is quite an important provision and can really catch some councillors unaware. They may have businesses or partners involved with council, and fairly quickly, in a $52 million a year operation, that $25,000 figure can be reached. The consequences of that are quite severe. So if authority has not been obtained from the Auditor General prior to that occurring, then the member's seat is essentially vacated, and the member cannot stand by by-election or through any other mechanism for council until the end of the triennium. So if something like that were to happen in the first month or two, it would be very unfortunate indeed, and I'm sure that all of you will remember that if you have any contractual relations with council in this triennium. The only other section that I want to draw attention to, most of these pieces of legislation relate to what you would call broadly malfeasance in public office or corruption, and under the Crimes Act 1961, Section 105, holds that it's an offence punishable by 7 years of imprisonment for an official to corruptly accept or obtain or to attempt to obtain any bribe in respect of anything done or omitted to be done by the official in an official capacity, and a person making or attempting to make the bribe is liable to 3 years imprisonment. And I'm sure that they require these provisions to be brought to the attention of councillors on such a celebratory occasion, just to balance out the joy of the evening. However, those are really the only imprisonable and rather severe punishment-related elements that I wanted to specifically draw to elected members' attention. But I would also draw to members' attention the fact that under the Health and Safety in the Workplace Act, elected council members, which include the mayor and councillors, but excludes community board members, and I, as the chief executive, are by default identified as officers under the Act in terms of health and safety duties. So that's also another very important element of elected members' duties in their roles as mayor and councillors. And I'll take the rest of the report as read. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Any comments? Anyone backing out? Councillor Hopkins.
Oh, no, just a clarification, the qualified privilege is similar to that that applies to Parliament, just not Mr. Power. And effectively, it immunises or protects councillors who have made comments in good faith upon legal action in the courts.
Provided that no malice can be proved.
Correct, yes.
That's true.
Yes. Yeah. But it does allow honest and vigorous debate.
Okay, we'd like to move that we receive the information. Councillor Holding and Councillor King, thank you very much. Those in favour, please aye. Aye. Okay, carried. Now it's time for my address. So, bear with me. Tēnā koutou katoa, talofa lava, malo alele, bula vanaka, kia orana, namaste, ni hao. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to our new councillors and family and friends. Today is a special day for all of us who have now been sworn in to serve our community as the 11th council for the Waitaki district. We are honoured to be elected with some of us here for the first time, but whether it's for the first time or the 6th, it's still a humbling experience to be voted in by our community to represent and serve the Waitaki district and all of its people. Election campaigns tend to focus on differences, but when the dust settles, the similarities are often more important to the real work as the real work commences and majority rules become the norm. Those who stood but were unsuccessful have played an important role in our democracy, just as much as those of us who were elected. Together, we've provided choice for voters. We have put forward ideas, we've challenged each other's thinking, and because we have had a competitive election, the public has had the opportunity to hear what we've all had to say. To all of the candidates who stood, well done, and thank you for giving the good people of Waitaki choices. I've been elected to provide leadership to our council and to our community, but I don't do that alone. The electors have been judicious in their choice of councillors to help carry the load, and I'm confident that this will be a strong, positive council, and we will work hard to make Waitaki a better place. This election has seen 6 councillors, as well as me, get returned, which in itself is an endorsement of the progress and positivity that the district is experiencing. The public has shown trust in our team and has voted for careful stewardship and for the positive future we continually work towards. Some critics have focused on the various issues occurring at the moment, but I believe that the general public understands that there will always be issues, and that they have voted for people that they believe will do what they can to deal with the issues as they arise. And now we have 4 new councillors who bring new diversity of skills and backgrounds with them, who will help deal with the challenges we're thrown, And not the least, welcome our first Pacific Councillor. Yes. These individuals in front of you are now your councillors for the next 3 years. And for all their differences, they have a good number of common qualities. All have chosen to serve their communities. All have worked hard to earn the right to do so. And all are proving already to be positive contributors who want to make the Waitaki District a better place to live, work and play in. They all bring a great mix of skills and experience to the role, and they will be a strong and effective team. It's my goal for our council to be an enabler of the community, enabling the doers in our community, the volunteers, the business people, the social entrepreneurs, and the people in our many wonderful organisations across Waitaki. I want our council to engage, to listen and to help achieve the aspirations and goals that the people of Waitaki have, and which they so richly deserve to have come to fruition. We will work with the numerous and varied parts of our wider community across our large district. The Waitaki District has a total land area that is coincidentally almost exactly 10 times the size of Tonga, and it brings challenges to our relatively small population. But I'm confident that we have a councillor team which will work together to deal with those challenges, alongside a team of dedicated staff members led by our Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Fergus Power. We all have our roles to play to make Waitaki even better. Lastly, I want to acknowledge family. Serving as a councillor or mayor can be very demanding and stressful at times, and juggling all of life's various demands alongside the role requires understanding and support from our families. Thank you to all our families for the support you give. I want to especially thank my wonderful wife, Kerry, for the support you give, and also my extended family for their strong support over the years and throughout the campaign over the last few months. Never stop campaigning. Making our community a better place for this and future generations is why we do what we do. Thank you very much. So I'd like to move from the chair to receive this document. Seconded, Councillor Tandale, thank you. All those in favour say aye. Against? Carried. Thank you. Next up we have the appointment of Deputy Mayor. Excuse me while I just go to my notes on here. Sorry, I've just got to get through to the right document. And that's not it. All right, I'm sure I remember what I was going to say. Ladies and gentlemen, the choice of a deputy is done in different ways. There's options. One is for a mayor to appoint someone. The other is for a nomination to be made and to see if there's support for that. In our case, in each triennium, I've opted to go for the nomination, so that any deputy mayor that we have does have the support of all the councillors. When looking at who to have as a deputy, I've had 2 terms as mayor, and I've had 2 deputies over that time. I've looked at different things, and you know, some say, well, it should be the highest polling, and that would mean it would always be an Oamaru councillor, and that shouldn't be the case. I've looked at the skills that people bring and how they will work in the role. I have to be very thoughtful of what happens if I'm not there, if the mayor dies or is incapacitated in some other way, the deputy has to step in and fill the shoes until the by-election is held, if that's what's needed. So it does really require someone who's got the right skill set overall. Looking around our table, I think we've got a number of very good candidates that would have those skills. So it's never quite as easy as one would think. But ladies and gentlemen, I think for the second time in around 20 to 25 years, I'm choosing a deputy that will serve her second term as Deputy Mayor. And so it's with much pleasure that I nominate Councillor Melanie Tavendale to be Deputy Mayor. Do I have a seconder for that, please? Councillor Wallstein, thank you. Any discussion?
Good choice.
I'm going to put that. Those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Those against? Carried unanimously. Thank you very much. Might have been the biggest, worst kept secret in town, I'm not too sure. Next up, we have the next meeting of the council.
I'm happy to move that recommendation, Mr. President.
The next meeting is on Wednesday the 30th of October. Seconder for that, Councillor Milne. Still good no tax, sorry. So just getting the councillor, that's all right for the next part. Right, we've got to move to secret. Any discussion?
Well, just for clarification for the public, I presume it's going to be the council chamber.
Yes. Thank you. Those in favour, please say aye. Those against? That's carried. Right. 30. Just before we close the meeting, I want to make a number of thank yous. So, first of all, I want to thank all retired councillors for their service in the past, and to the newly elected councillors for your commitment to serve in the future. It's not done lightly, and it is a major commitment, and appreciate those who have served and those who are with us for this term. Thank you to all of you for being here to witness the declarations and be a part of this meeting. Thank you to the members of the Waitaki Boys High School Choir and to the Oamaru Pacific Island Community Group for helping us to celebrate the diversity of our district, and to Piper Callan Bishop for heralding the council elect in the foyer as part of our Scottish traditions. Thank you to the Kaihatu of Moeraki, Marianne Tipa, for her karanga. Sorry about that. And for taking my declaration as mayor and for placing the new mural chains on me. Thank you to Upoko Runaka David Higgins for his mihi at the commencement of the declarations ceremony and the karakia and blessing of the food at the end of that ceremony. Thank you to Chief Executive Fergus Power for being the Master of Ceremonies for today, and for all that you and your executive management team and staff have done to make this a memorable occasion for me and my fellow councillors today. That includes our governance advisor, Ainsley Hooper here, and the EA team that has so ably assisted her. So thank you very much for all that you've done to make this an special occasion. I'd now like to invite everyone to share some light refreshments in the foyer, and once again, thank you for coming to be part of this celebration today. We've really appreciated you being here. I now declare the meeting closed. Thank you very much.
No, guys have to do colours.